everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome again to another episode of Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Um, I'm going to get into something in a little bit. I just want to first say, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everything y'all doing, the support I've been getting. Help me to continue to grow this channel. And, you know, just being able to communicate and, give my opinion on different subjects, different things, election wise, policy wise, gun wise. You know, thank y'all for hanging out with a brother. Right there is Sunday. Oh man, I want to get into this story that I came across this morning, and I don't know if it's true. Really don't know if it's true or not. Don't even know, but it's alarming. That's the best way I could put it is to say is that it's disturbing. And it's a story about the president of Ukraine, who we've been funding all this money to. According to this story, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but according to the story, he's buying up property in a ski resort, and I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but it's spelled Chauvel, something in that sort. It's called Chauvel, and it's a ski resort in France. What's up, Mike in the building? What's up, Brown? How you feeling? It's a ski resort in France. And apparently he's been buying up the property there. Now, according to the story, he's been buying up these property there. $88 million, I think, is what he has spent on these properties. And is a vacation resort, a popular vacation resort in France called Courchevel or something like that. I don't know. It's in a weird French or name or whatever case may be. But if this turns out to be true, now, I've seen some articles saying that it was misinformation or disinformation, but I kept digging. And what I found out was someone did purchase it between 2022 and 2023, somewhere in that ballpark. They purchased this resort. It's been around for a long time. And then as I kept digging, I kept trying to find out who was the owner, but it says from everything I looked at, it says owner is unknown. So if no one knows who the owner is, how is that possible? If it's a popular ski resort and you can't Google who actually owns it, but it's supposedly a popular ski resort in France. So make that make sense. Now, this is the alarming part is this is where we've been funneling our tax dollars to support a war. But if this turns out to be true, how is it that where is he getting the money to be able to buy up all these hotels at this ski resort? Our tax dollars. Now, my question to you is that who else is involved in this? Because now it's really starting to get up under my skin. And I'm like I said, I don't know 100% it's true, but I'm gonna be honest with you, everything I've dug up so far says there's something fishy. And this is what the problem I keep trying to tell people about the Democrat and the Biden administration is that, and this is why they keep funneling money over all these other ventures everywhere else but here, is because they keep finding ways to spend that money back into their pocket. What's up, Chris, for real? What's up, Chris, for real? Again, if you're on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very much. But this story right here really got up under my skin. Because I'm saying to myself, yeah, something don't seem right, Mike. I'm telling you, Mike in the building, and something does not seem right. Because if I go Google it, and I'm telling you, if you get a chance, look this up. Because, yes, apparently, he's, like I said, I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but I came across this story from somebody posted something about it on Instagram. So I went to look up the story, and I just kept Googling. First of all, it's not giving you a whole lot. You got to keep asking. You know how you got to word the way you ask questions a certain way to try to get what you're looking for. And I kept digging and digging and digging. Then I came across the very same story that this person's saying, and I'm watching the video. Of course, they're speaking in a different language, but someone's interpreting what they're saying. So I just started digging more, and I said, well, let me just see who's the owner is. And I cannot find out who's the owner is, but that right there is fishy in itself. And my thing is this is where I tell people all the time, we keep trusting these politicians to do the right thing, but they're not. They're taking our tax dollars and they're doing stuff like this. And every time I start digging this way, I'm finding out most of the time it's the Democratic side. Most of the time it's the Democratic side. And that's why I keep telling people, and I know that most black people vote Democrat. And that's the reason why I keep telling every Democratic person that I know vote Democrat, if you have a sense of any morality, you will never vote for these politicians again in life. Because I'm telling you, on a large scale, they are the ones. And I'm talking about, I don't care if their skin is black, white, purple, yellow, green. It has nothing to do with their skin color. These people on this side are the ones that's doing the most damage. And I'm not saying that there's no Republicans involved, because I know that there's probably some Republicans involved. But when I'm looking at it as a whole, it's the Democratic Party that's doing the worst damage. And they are doing it to the very same people that they say they're serving. And I'm talking about people, and I'm not saying Al Sharpton and them have anything to do with that part, which I don't know if they do or not. But I'm talking about all of these Hollywood elites, people that keep speaking to you, saying you should, and race baiting you into this, and race baiting you into that, and race baiting you into this, and race baiting you into that, and they're lying to your face, and they acting like they're not doing these things, and they are. Real talk, they are. And if people like Al Sharpton, Roland Martin, listen, they got paid to support Kamala Harris. They got paid. Oprah Winfrey got paid to support it. Beyonce, all of these people took your money that you funneled to this campaign, and rich people got more richer off of her campaign. And you average people, average Joes, funneled your money, gave your money to that. And they turned around and gave it to rich people to try to win a campaign what they knew they wasn't going to win. They already knew it. That was just a money grab, and they took money from everyday people that worked their behinds off and work, took their donations, and they gave it away to rich people that are already rich. And then and I know that people are gonna come back and say, well, average people were funneling Trump's campaign too. Yeah, we were. Yes, we were. But guess what the difference is? Trump spent the money on his campaign. Trump wasn't out there paying all of these famous people to say and to support his campaign. Joe Rogan. Yeah, you're right, Christopher. Delusional poor people. Joe Rogan didn't get nothing from Trump's campaign to do it. And my thing is this: even if he did, Joe Rogan has his own platform. Now, if they made some backyard deal, I don't know for sure, but Joe Rogan was not a supporter of Trump. He was not one that says, I'm voting for Trump. He wasn't out there campaigning for Trump. He invited Trump to come onto his show, and that was that. But here's the thing. None of these YouTubers that have been talking and promoting Trump don't get paid for this. I don't get paid for this. I have never gotten a nickel for this. I did my homework, and I decided I was going to support this candidate because I agree with his stance on how this country should be ran. And never once did all of the YouTubers out there, black, white, whatever, Benny Johnson, all of these big YouTubers that are doing the very same thing on a way larger scale than I'm doing, never once did they say or even indicated that they were getting any money in support, because at the end of the day, we all have something in common. We want to see our country get back to what it should be, which is great. And we all agree the fact that we want Trump to make America great again. And that's it. None of us got money for it. But yet, Kamala Harris and the campaign turned around and paid all of these rich people and gave them more riches. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you go? And yes, Trump won by a landslide. Right. And then she got her behind handed to her. But why would you go and pay rich people all of this money? Famous people, all of this money. Wealthy people, all of this money. And my thing is this: they so greedy, they took it. And they will still get on stage and say, "Oh, he's a threat to democracy." But you don't see nothing wrong with the fact that you took $1 million to support a campaign like that. That's still telling you to kill your baby. Still trying to spew bullcrap rhetoric. Still trying to cause division. But even further than that, they're the very same reason why your bread was expensive. They're the very reason why gas is expensive. So if they cared about you, they would have been working on trying to lower the cost of living. They're the ones that reason why cars are expensive. They're the reason why you can't afford to buy a house. They're the reason. And y'all listen, y'all donated to today. Y'all act like the 4 years did not just happen. The last 4 years did not just happen, and y'all was willing to sacrifice the future livelihood of yourself to vote for a candidate, all because in y'all stupid head y'all believe she was black. Never cared about the fact that she was qualified or not. Never cared about whether she was capable or not. All y'all was running on was the fact that y'all thought she was black. That's it. The same way you did with Obama. Voted for him because of skin color, and I'm so sick of people with this identity politics. Go get some information about your candidate before you start deciding on whether you're going to vote for him. Now, if you okay with mutilating children, and if you okay with killing babies, if you okay with women going into men's sports and beating the crap out of them, if you okay with men coming into the bathroom with you and going and pulling out their wiener while you trying to use the bathroom, if you okay with that type of lifestyle, if you okay with all of that stuff and you voted in line with all of that, that's fine. I get why you voted for that person, because you okay with their behavior and you okay with the politicians that preach that stuff and push that stuff. I get it. You okay with it. That's fine. I get it. But then don't sit there and turn around and say, "Oh, I don't like the fact that the black community is in such array and the drugs and the fentanyl is doing so bad in our communities and everything looks so horrible," and then you still go vote for the very same people that's causing it. You still go vote for the very same. The reason why they want fentanyl coming into your community because they're the ones making the money off the fentanyl. Don't make sense. Why would you want to destroy your community like that unless you're the one benefiting from it? And never once do you hear the Biden administration come against any of that. They act like it does not exist because they're the ones making the money from it. And I don't care when nobody say, "Yeah, it could be." It's just my opinion. I get it, but there's no other reason why you would want that and not want to put a stop to it, unless you're benefiting from it in some type of way. Make it make sense. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all tell me. Maybe I'm wrong about what I'm saying. Y'all tell me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong. But again, I keep finding out as I keep digging, is always a Democratic Party that's doing the most destruction to the communities. But yet, again, y'all gonna still vote for it. You know why? Because y'all a slave to them. They already know you're a slave to them. And they will sit there because y'all still on code for no reason at all. I don't care how bad it gets especially the black community. I don't care how bad it gets. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how destructive it is. I don't care how corrupted it is. They will still hold on the code and still vote for that. Excuse me. And still vote in line for that. Yeah, I got a slight little, cough or whatever case may be, but it is what it is. I'll be all right. And they'll still vote in line with that. They still will. They will not let go of that. Why? Because they don't realize that they are trapped by their slave master. And they listen, I get ridiculed. I get called Uncle Tom. I get called all types of names from people that's supposed to be my skin color because I chose to vote for a candidate that they was the ones that keep saying that he was racist, but I haven't found one evidence of that all yet. So I'm the one that's a sellout. My thing is this: I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they criticize me and none of that stuff, because at the end of the day, y'all not feeding me. Y'all not clothing me. Y'all not doing nothing for me. But when I look at it, I don't look at it from who's saying what out their mouth. I look at what they're doing. And you cannot tell me when you look at the city of Philadelphia where the black people live, that the city of Philadelphia be doing right by its people. They will raise taxes and do all this stuff and suck you out of the community, and you'll still sit there and say, "Oh, they're trying to fight. They're fighting for us." They ain't fighting for you. They're trying to steal from you. They're not fighting for you. They're stealing from you because they know if they went into another community and tried to do that, they will never be able to get away with it because there's one thing about the black community that you can guarantee that there is not uniform. They don't come together and for a cause of the community and fight against that. They'll bow the knee because a lot of times they're more concerned about killing each other than stopping the politicians from doing what they're doing to them. And that's the truth of the matter. They're true. That's why when you find a black person that they call a sellout, they usually have to be in this fight by themselves or find a handful of other black people that they're not around to try to communicate with them and try to go against it. Because the vast majority of the people from the hood will stick to code. They will hang and stick to code. Oh, no. You know, okay. Y'all been doing this for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And y'all are still the ones leading. Everybody else is leading the way, and y'all still behind. Still behind. Anytime you sit down, I'm not saying all. I'm talking about the ones, they know who I'm talking about, who I'm not talking about. And it's not the whole black community as a whole. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that part of our culture that needs to go away. Because the minute you start talking about anything positive or anything meaningful, they don't want to hear it. They don't want no parts of it. Oh, man, you know, you'll sell out this and that and that. The white man trying to keep you down, whatever case may be. Okay. Yeah, okay. But one day, hopefully, one day, you're going to realize that you are living in one of the greatest countries you could possibly ever want to be in. Only rarely, I don't know about any other country, but only in America can you end up with nothing and find a way to come back out of it and still achieve greatness if you want to. And there are plenty of examples across America that shows that. When you look at people that has been successful and they tell you their story in America, that should be a motivation to say, yes, in America, I can. My skin color is not a hindrance to me. But my attitude and my behavior is. If you're willing to do what most ain't willing to do, you'll get the success from that. Simple as that. Yeah, they do. The black community still will vote based on identity. And I'm going to tell you why I believe, and this is just my opinion, that black people will vote based on identity because we refuse to go through and put in the effort to actually find out who we actually voting for. Because usually what happens when you actually go in there, there is a certain point where you have to check yourself and say, wow, I was falling for this. I was falling for this. And that's where you usually say, okay, now I have to admit that I was actually voting the wrong way. That's the first. Excuse me. That's usually the first part. You have to actually own up to the first part. And say, actually checking yourself and saying, you know what? I was ignorant. Just like I had to do. I had to check myself first and say, you know what? I was ignorant. I was ignorant myself. And then once you accept the fact that, okay, I was ignorant, then you can kind of say, okay, now I need to work myself out of my ignorance. And I have to look beyond that and say to myself, you know what? I got to get myself to a point where I'm a lot more educated and making my vote count by educating myself on the politicians and who they are, not just what they're saying out of their mouth, but look at their history of what they actually did. And then you'll have a better and clearer picture of who you're voting for, who you're not. And the fact that the reason why I say that is because when people ask me what made me vote for Trump, I had to go look beyond just the politics. And I keep telling people, I said, I kept coming across all of these stories of him doing stuff for people, good stuff for people, like just random stories. I'm like, why these things did not get promoted, why they didn't get told, and why they keep hiding these stories. And I realized that, okay, some of that is the media not trying to dig up these stories. If I could find them out, they could find them out. But if I wanted to paint somebody in a bad light, I got to hide these stories and not let these type of stories get out in public. The other part of it is that I found out that Trump doesn't really talk about this stuff because those are things that are closer to his heart. And he said it out of himself. He said, I don't really like to talk about those stuff because those are the things that I like. I like doing stuff for people. But he don't like the recognition and the credit out of them. He just wanted to do it as quiet and as he can without nobody knowing about it. Just like when I came across the story of him, and they were saying he would come into the kitchen of the restaurant and stuff in Mar-a-Lago and stuff like that, and he would just hand out $100 bills to his staff, and he would do it quietly. They say it would just be him, and he would come in quietly, hand out money to his staff, and go ahead about his business, thanking his workers, whatever case may be. And I kept coming across more and more stories like this. And usually when you look into a person's history, and like I said, he's not perfect. Far from it. None of us are. But when I look at these stories like that, that tells me that when someone tries to do nice stuff for people without being recognized, that means that they're trying to do it. And they just, the satisfaction is knowing that they help somebody without everybody knowing that they help. That's not somebody who wants the attention drawn to him and wants attention on him. That tells me that when he made the hardest thing for him, I think, to do was to come out publicly and say he was running for president, and now people have to find out stuff like that, because those are the things that they're going to find out, but they ain't going to use it. They're not going to tell it. They're just going to try to use, find some negative stuff to try to do it, but they're really not finding no negative stuff. So they're making them, because at the end of the day, he's not perfect by any means, but I'm going to be honest with you. He's sacrificing a lot to do what he's doing. It's costing him by far more to run for president than he could ever get out of running. Now, if I'm not wealthy and rich like that, then there's a benefit. But if I'm wealthy and rich like that, there's no benefit. That's why it was clear to me that when they said he lost $1 billion after that 4 years, I knew it. I said, that made more sense to me. Because you're not getting paid a lot of money. You make more money not being president than you would being president, because now your time is being consumed on a job that don't pay what you normally would make outside of being a president. So the only reason why you could possibly want to be president is that you care enough, you see what's going on, and you feel like you're probably one of the only people that can fix it. Because you're the one that can withstand the cost that's going to come along with being attacked by people that don't want nobody else leading, but their circle of people that they can do to do their bidding for them. You don't want nobody like Trump in office, because Trump's not going to do your bidding for y'all. So anybody else who ran up against these type of people, they would have been financially bankrupt before it was all said and done. They would have wiped out everything that person had before it was all said and done, because the average person would not be able to withstand the sting of the amount of money that these people have to try to shut you down, to keep you out of being, because you're not a part of the elites. So we saw that. We saw where everything that Trump was going through, we saw where they was trying to bankrupt him. They was trying to discredit him. They were trying to attack him. But the thing with, yes, he did. He didn't take no salary at all. And they were trying to do all of this stuff to him. And you see where he had to withstand a whole lot in order to become president. And I'm telling you, no one that, if you did not care about this country, you would have gave up. You had to have had a godly motivation in order to continue on to that. And my thing is this. They say, oh, no. And listen to what I'm trying to tell you. You had to have had a godly motivation to withstand that. No one could have withstand that on their own being, on their own mindset. Everybody else would have given up unless God was strengthening you through it. Everybody else would have gave up. I don't care who you are. You can disagree with me all you want to on that. But I'm telling you, you would not have been able to stand that unless God was motivating you through it. And that's the truth of the matter. But again, I'm going back to that story. I hope for God that this story does not turn out to be true, that our tax dollars was allowing him to be able to purchase all of these hotels at a ski resort and make a ton of money off of our tax dollars. Because I guarantee you that if this part turns out to be true, that means that the Biden administration and the Democratic Party, all of them got their hands in this. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And so it comes back, and I'm gonna be honest with you. One thing I know about the Trump administration, they know how to they know how to find information just as good as anybody else. Because I'll be shocked when I hear some of the stuff that comes out of Trump's mouth and turns out to be true. And I'm like, where's this guy getting like? So I know that he has a strong team that knows how to dig up and find information on people. And if this story turns out to be true, I can't wait till he get in office. I just can't wait. Because I'm telling you, I know that we're going to find out the truth about this one. I know we are. Because I know that at some point Trump's going to get a wind of this and he's going to find out the truth. And y'all going to see how destructive the Democratic Party has been to America. And how corrupt they have been to America. And like I said, I'm not saying that there's no Republicans, but the vast majority are the Democratic politicians. That's why you see Chicago, Baltimore, Maryland, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Georgia, everywhere you see that the black community, vast majority of black community, that's where the worst is being done to. And they got every excuse in the book of why it looks like that. And that's why you never see the Democratic Party holding themselves accountable for anything. They refuse to hold themselves accountable for everything. Even in this election, they're not holding themselves accountable for why they lost this election. They're not. They all blaming each other for the reason that they lost this election. And it's all of y'all. It's not one of y'all. It's all of y'all. It's the reason why y'all lost this election. The reason why Trump won because he ran the most honest campaign you could possibly run. I'm not worried about tariffs. I'm worried about my country. And even if tariffs causes some of the prices of things to go up, so what? They already up. We've been paying high prices for this stuff for the last 4 years. But here's the thing. We're paying high prices for the stuff that's made in America. Y'all worry about the stuff that comes from another country. I'm worried about the fact that we don't make enough of it in America. Because if we made enough of it in America, we won't be so subject to it from another country. So for those that want to keep talking about tariffs and all this other stuff, the bigger question is, why are we not making it here at home? Why are we not making it here at home? I heard somebody say, this one dude was talking about these women, oh, your eyelashes and your wigs going to be expensive. Really? So that's what we're worrying about. We're worrying about wigs and eyelashes. So we're supposed to make decisions based on roughly about 8% of the population of women that's going to be wearing, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably pushing a fake number on that. That's going to have to pay more money for eyelashes and wigs. We supposed to not put tariffs on somebody so that they can get the wigs and the eyelashes cheaper. Forget everything else. Forget the fact that we got people coming across this country that are criminals illegally. Forget all of that. That's not important, huh? We forget the fact that we got fentanyl flying in here and killing off American citizens, our children, your children, everybody. A lot of this stuff is happening and we see it in our face. Forget all that. That's not important. What's important is cheap eyelashes and cheap wigs. Cheaper. But you never question the fact that we're not manufacturing, making that stuff here in America. Why is that the case? Why is that not the problem? Why is it that we're able to get it from another country, travel 35 days across all of these seas and waters, and still get it cheaper here than we can manufacture it right here and sell it right here? Why are we not making it here? Why we don't make it here? And then you can purchase it from the manufacturers here so that you can get it just as cheaper than just having it come all the way overseas. That's what you should be questioning. Why are we not making it here? And the other thing is this. Even though we're making manufacturing over there, look at how much control they have over it when they come over here, because y'all can't open up stores and get it that cheap. If you're a black person in America, or a white person, or anybody in America, yes, I think we need to have way more stuff made in America. But I want to tell y'all this. If you're a black person or a white person or in America, or any race in America, ask yourself this: why y'all don't own all of the stores like that? Why is it that all of the stores that sell all of these hair products and stuff like that are Chinese or Japanese or Korean or whatever you want, what race they are from? Why do they the only ones control that market in America? Why is it that we don't? But yet we the ones buying most of them. We buy most of them, but they sell it over here and they control the vast majority of that market right in America. And y'all okay with that? All y'all want to do is be able to go buy it cheap, but y'all don't want to be able to sell it cheap. Y'all don't want to be able to open up the store to be able to make the profit margin off of that product and be able to sell it to the people that want it, because y'all can't get it cheap. Y'all not getting it cheap. Y'all getting it from the stores. But why is it when they comes over here, they're the ones controlling the market, and y'all okay with that? And then we'll sit down. I know you shouldn't be worried up. You should not be. Shouldn't be. Nobody in America should be okay with that. But now they will sit down and go run into these stores, buy this stuff. But never once question the fact that why is it that it takes all of that to get it here, and yet it's still cheaper than having it here, making it here. I mean, I can tell you the answers to that, but I'm not going to get that deep into it. But I give you the answers why. And that's why Trump wants to get rid of all these regulations and all this other stuff. But y'all don't understand the bigger picture of why that's a problem. But I see it as a problem. I see it as a big problem. People used to ask, and I've been, as much as I'm on the Trump train, it's not really about Trump. It's about saving our country and getting our country back to being great. Yes. And that was what I was getting ready to get into, Chris, for real, is the regulations is a big part of it. The other part of it is that payroll and all these other factors in there is because Americans think that, some Americans think that they can't work for less money, and then they don't let their kids go to work for these type of jobs and learn a trade or stuff like that and work for less money. And they don't value the knowledge and the ability to be able to learn how to do something. They just, I want to make a bunch of money. I want to make a bunch of money. I want to make a bunch of money. And I get that. You do want to get paid for what you did, but sometimes if you take the sacrifice and work with a company for the less money, you get the bigger reward down the road, because if that company grows, you know more about that company than anybody, because you were there on ground level. You were there when it started. And if you sacrifice and you roll with that company at the beginning, usually you the one get the bigger benefit, because now that company is successful. But y'all don't understand loyalty no more. Y'all don't understand equipment and longevity no more. Everybody want quick fixes, microwave behaviors. This right now, America has the biggest, greatest opportunity for people to get wealth in this country, because we don't have what we used to have years ago. We don't have real strong competitive manufacturing and things like that. So if anyone out there right now decides that, you know what, I'm going to go do something great in America, the market is way open right now for the greatest ideas. If you start great ideas in America, and that's why Elon Musk, I think, is so successful, is because he was ambitious enough to try something in this country that rarely anybody has done lately in America. And look at the success that he's gotten all that. And believe me when I tell you, if you put the effort into that at this point in time, you will get it. You will get it, because we don't make a whole lot of what we used to make. It's too much stuff that's coming from everybody else. And the minute they decide we don't want to sell it to America no more, then what you going to do? Because forget the fact that they're going to put tariffs on it. What if they just say we don't want to sell it to y'all no more? They have the right to do that. You still won't get it. And then someone's still going to have to find a way to make it in America, when we should have just been making it in America and buying American as much as possible anyway. And anybody that knows me for a long time, I'm not going to say everything that I buy, I buy American, but I have only owned one foreign car in my life. Every vehicle that I've owned in my life has been an American brand. And I hear people say, oh, this is better, that's better. I don't care. I live in this country. That's a lot of money. And I'm going to buy American brand. I don't buy foreign brands. I have never owned, all but one time in my life have I owned. I said, I'm not buying them no more. And don't get me wrong, it was a used vehicle when I bought it, but every vehicle I've ever owned, for the most part, has been either Ford, Chevy, or Dodge. Buick, GM, and I'm saying those brands, but I know they come under the GM brand. But that's my point. I've never deviated from American brand when it comes to vehicle, but one time in my life, and I refuse to want to do that again. And to be honest with you, there is really no difference. People say that everybody have different experiences with vehicles, and that my cousin had a Chevy Cavalier, which is not an expensive car. He had for years. He was driving for years. And that Chevy Cavalier had over 640,000 miles on it. And I think it had a 4-cylinder inside of there, and it was still running. So don't tell me that American brand cars don't do well, can't do well. I don't know too many cars that's a Chevy Cavalier that make it to 640,000 miles. I was like, man, you need to go back and take that to the Chevy dealer. It was crazy, and it was still running. It wasn't like it didn't run. It was still running. I mean, eventually it was gone, but that car literally had 640,000 miles, and it still was going. It was an American-made brand. So don't tell me we can't do it, because we can. But, with that said, I'm not going to hold y'all long. I'm about to get up out of here. I want to say thank y'all. God bless y'all. Make sure y'all making Jesus Christ first in your life. Like and subscribe. Please share these videos. Watch them over. Help a brother build this channel. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with a brother. God bless you. Peace.